Hi guys, it's Teresa Allen aka Teaser reporting again from the podcast Dance and Talks released from A Live Story Amsterdam. Now today we're traveling to a completely new continent on this podcast and we're gonna go to the East African country Kenya and meet nobody else than Paul, the artistic director of Artzone.
What do I gain from the things of this world as I try to satisfy my soul? And if I get it all, then will I have it all, or will I just be chasing the wind? It doesn't matter what I would try. You're the source that does not run dry. I'd search in the mountains, walk in the...
So who is Paul? Now, Paul has been dancing a long time. He's both been performing, competing, and choreographing in one of Nairobi's and Kenya's biggest dance groups. Today, I want him to explain for us how the dancing scene looks like in Kenya, about the traditional dances, but also the contemporary dance that has brought him and his crew Artzone all the way to the Netherlands, where I had the pleasure to work with them at In the Picture Festival at Dalmer Park Theater. Now, you already know what to do. Subscribe to our podcast, to our YouTube and Facebook in order for you to see all the latest episodes. And don't forget, you can comment and share all the videos. Every single rating means the world to me. And if you have a friend that you think would love these episodes, don't forget to share them with them. So now, let's get it going. So welcome to this interview, Paul from Kenya. Ba 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 ba. How are you doing and where are you in the world right now?
I'm doing good. I'm in my house in Nairobi, Kenya. Yes, so yeah, this is my city, Nairobi City.
Nairobi City. Is that where you were born?
Yes, Nairobi City. It's where I was born, raised. This is where I went to school, and this is where I started my adult life. Yes.
Yeah. I would love to know a little bit more about how it was for you growing up. Did you grow up with a big family? Was there a lot of like music, dancing around you growing up?
So, growing up, I will say like the most part of my life when I was growing up, it was in the 90s. So I remember like there used to be a lot of funk music, hip hop music, and so because I was raised in the city, so I was exposed in the entertainment industry. And back then, I can remember that there used to be a lot of competitions, dance competitions, and we would watch on TV, and I would be intrigued, fascinated by the dance moves. They would organize these competitions, and guys would win cars back then.
Wow.
Yeah, in early 90s, there used to be a competition. It was called Win a Car. So we would watch it on Sundays. And, for me, it struck something in me. And it is from that point that I realized that I really loved dancing. And so I started slowly by funk music. I would, watch some small videos here and there. And so that's how I started dancing. Back in school, while I was still in primary school, growing up into high school, until now when I cleared my school, that's when I felt like this is the direction that I wanted to follow.
Yeah, wow. And do you remember your first dance performance?
I started in the streets. So I remember in my neighborhood, there used to be these music stores. So they would sell cassettes. We didn't have CDs back then.
Yeah.
So they would sell cassettes. And for guys to hear the music, so they used to play very loud music. So they would put speakers out so that those guys who were passing, they would hear the music and buy. So we used to dance outside those music stores. And guys would gather the crowd from the neighborhood, just give guys free entertainment in the neighborhood.
Oh, wow. Was it like a little kiosk, the
Yes,
place? Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
Wow. And And so was it like dance classes and stuff like this? Was it hard to access? Or do you remember when you took your first dance class?
It's interesting. I remember we never used to have dance classes.
Mm.
And I remember what we used to watch on TV mostly through documentaries. They would bring ballet. That's what we used to see then as like formal dance classes. And not here, but we just watch what was happening outside the world. And at that particular time, the ballet used to look very boring, very formal in class. And as we were looking for something different where we would have fun. But unfortunately, we never had that here. So I remember there was this one time there was a competition, and there was a concert, and I went, I attended that concert. So I saw this one guy who performed. I can remember his name. He was called Dan, and he performed hip hop, and it's like he was miming. So I looked at him, and he was moonwalking, doing the isolations, and I was like, come on, is this really true? So after that, I followed him, and I told him, I would really want you to teach me these things. So my dance class was with this guy. So we started just the two of us. He will show me some very basic moves of isolations, of doing some moonwalks. And from there, I would go home. I used to have this small Walkman. You remember the Walkmans?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the ones that you put cassette, even not. So I would go home, just look for cassette somewhere, play music, and it used to sing very fast. Yeah, it was faulty. It was not good. So it will sing very quickly. And I would just dance like that in my room. So my mom would pop in and she would think I'm crazy. But for the most part, I would say I trained myself. Just watching videos of dance music videos, back in the days, Maya, Asha, that was the time Asha was a hit. I remember the NSYNC, those bands, yeah? And so they used to have these dancers on their videos. So I would watch, go home, practice what I saw. But having dance classes here, we never had those dance classes. Yeah.
So how did you then end up, if you didn't, because when I grew up, the most times you got a performance was because you attended dance classes. And then after a while, the teacher would take you out to a performance. How did you end up doing, your first job, or like a first official performance where you had to learn a choreography or anything?
Very good. So I had this neighbor of mine. He was an acrobat. So when I started dancing, I remember the first dance performances we would have, it will be in church. Here in Kenya, church is a big thing.
Yeah.
And churches organize concerts. So like most of us, that's where we started, in churches. So I remember this one day, there was a concert in church. And so I was there performing. And so this guy saw me. Later he approached me and he told me, I saw you and I was fascinated by what you were doing. I know a place where I can take you where guys do what you're doing, but at a professional level. So I was intrigued and I was just looking forward. So there is this hotel in Kenya. It is called Safari Park Hotel and Casino. It is one of the biggest 5-star hotels. And so they have a dance troupe, which they call the Safari Cats dance troupe. And it's quite huge because, for them, they do dinner shows. And they have traveled the world, so they're quite famous. So this one evening, he took me just to go and watch that performance. He used to be in that team previously. So he went, and it was a whole production. So many people performing, with the light and the costumes, and people seated having their dinner, watching the show. And I was like, this is heaven for me. And he asked me, can you do these things? And I was like, hell yeah. Given the opportunity, this is what I would want to do. So he spoke to the boss, their friends. And so this guy tells me, this boss, he tells me, do this. You come on Monday. It was on Saturday evening. You come on Monday. I'll audition you and see what you can do. So I went on Monday. I found them. They were rehearsing for some concert somewhere. So guys were there dancing, and just this whole production. They're doing their thing, and I was seated there just looking. So he called me. They took like a breather. So guys I think they were refreshing so that they can continue. He called me, told me, "Hey, come. You say that you can dance. Then get on stage and show us what you can do. So what are you going to dance for us?" And the song they were practicing, I can remember it was Miley. No, it was. I'll remember the name. I'll tell you. So that is the track that I told them that I will perform. So I hopped on stage and did my freestyle, and they let me freestyle for 5 minutes. And luckily, because on the sidelines, I used to train taekwondo, just to be fit and just to occupy myself at home. So I was very fit then. I will do the split and whatever. So mixing that with the dance skill that I had, he just looked at me while I was still performing. He took a camcorder. Back in the days, they used to have camcorders.
Flip out with a screen. Yeah.
Yes. So he recorded the entire thing. And after that, he told me, "You know what? You're in." Just like that.
Wow.
So that's how I started my career. After that, the following week, I joined them officially. And I started the training. They have a very, very rigorous training. You train for 3 months, which is very good because they pay you, they take care of your needs. And then after 3 months, for the lot that you guys would have graduated, you move on now to join the senior team. You train for another 6 months. And then from there now, you're part of the team officially. So I was with them for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
So I started my dance career. Yeah.
What was the biggest thing you learned throughout those 8 years?
One of the things, because of the exposure, I learned that it is very important, especially to be part of a professional team, because of the exposure. They have the ability to connect you to people, to travel the world just to see and to know many other things that you don't locally have. And also, just the discipline of the profession, and just to understand how important and how big that thing can become. Because when you do it at home, for some of the people, it's just for fun, and you think it is just that. But when you get out there and you experience the world and you get to see how other people are doing it and how they're enjoying it, and how it has transformed their lives, I think that makes you, it sobers you up. And also just by the sheer, earning of money, that you're earning money through your talent, for me, that was a plus.
Yeah, I can only imagine. That must have been like a dream coming true when you are a dancer, performing in the streets, in the church, just to be able to be in a professional company. What a chance.
Yes.
So what made you go for creating your own dance company? What happened? Where was the switch there?
Yeah, good question. So while I was still with the Safari Cats, for those 8 years, in my neighborhood, there was like a social hall, and so guys would gather there. And I remember there are these guys who approached me and they told me, "Hey, Paul, why don't when you're free, why don't you come and train us? Because it is not that everyone has an opportunity to join these professional dance companies." So I would wake up 6 a.m. in the morning. I would meet a team of young guys, train them up to 10 a.m. in the morning, then get ready for work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I will do it every day, Monday to Friday. And on Saturdays, when I have time, because on Saturdays we used to report to work in the evenings. So for the rest of the day, I would just spend time with these guys and train them. Actually, I have very good photos I'll find them and share them with you so that you
Yes,
can,
please.
yeah,
Yes.
so that you can just see. So that's what really pushed me towards starting my company, Artzone. It's actually called Artzone Events and Entertainment. And it's because the concept was for us just to get not just to focus on one thing, but I wanted to create an opportunity where guys, those who are gifted and they're talented in performing arts, they can be part of the entertainment aspect. But for the ones who just want to organize and do events, they can be part of the events part. And so
Mm.
slowly we are just building the company step by step.
And how many people are you today compared to when you started?
When we started, I never had anyone who was permanent part of the team. I would just train guys. The business name was there, but now I have 10 permanent members that I work with. That is like my core team. That whenever there is something, these are people that you can call any time of the day, any time of the night, because they are part of the team. So, and we are growing slowly. We would have been a bigger team, but I realized that for me to be able to service these people and to be able to create opportunities that can provide for them, then I need to have a small team that I can manage instead of having, because when we began, we were many, we were like 30 people. Then I realized, it was a bit hectic because we don't have a lot of work. And whenever work shows up, everyone wants to participate, and you have to pay everyone. So it was not practical. So I decided, let me make the team small, train these people so that they can also, in their own ways, create their own small networks so that they can also be able to help the ones they can.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in the beginning, what kind of works did your group get? What was it? Was it a festivals or celebration days? What kind of works were like you're entering art zone gigs?
Yeah. So here in Kenya, again, we don't have a lot of festivals here. And, festivals, mostly they need big budgets. And so my focus mostly was very commercial, to be quite honest with you, because we have corporate companies here. Once in a while, they would have their gala dinners. Once in a while, they will be launching a product. Once in a while, they will be doing a promotion of a particular service or a product that they have. So we have these road shows, we have launch events, we have dinner, whatever events. So that was my target. So when starting, I just trained guys. I made sure that the kind of service and the product that we were working on was to appeal to the corporate market.
Mm.
So that when we approach them, we have two aspects. There is one for entertainment, and there is one where you approach them with a concept. For example, tell them, we have been watching you guys and we think this product, we have an idea of how we can market it in malls. So where we conceptualize an idea of a performance, then maybe in a mall, we just do a proposal for them. And when they agree, we have some work to do for promotions. But when they have their dinners and whatever, we have that product for them. So mostly we are focused on corporates. But given the opportunities for festivals, we go for festivals. Like just last week, there was a festival here in Nairobi organized by the German Institute. I will send you the link so that you can also watch. We were very happy because for the last 4 months, we have not had any gig.
Yeah.
So the German Institute here in Nairobi, they organized one and we were part of that festival. So luckily for me, I had an opportunity to do a class. I taught some very basic hip-hop class for guys. But by the end of the week, we had a performance for the group. So yeah, that's what we do.
Mm.
Yeah.
And l- let me ask you a little bit about the styles, because I remember when I met you, I was like, this is a very it's a mixed crew. Like there's a lot of styles going on, and I know that when we talked last time, you told me that when you used to work as a dancer yourself, it was also a mix of styles. And can you tell a little bit more about what is it that you perform with? What is your strongest sides, and what have been like your biggest styles in your career so far?
Very interesting. In Europe, and let me call it the first world, yeah. guys have the opportunity to um, I mean to, what do we call this? Like just like to practice like a style, to specialize. That's it, yeah. They have you have the opportunity to specialize. Like I will, you watch guys and you find that this one he's he's just a hip, his style is like jazz. You find someone, this is a ballerina. You find someone, they have specialized, and them, they do the ballroom performances, whether whether salsa or whatever. But unfortunately here, because we have not really developed that industry and that culture, you have to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So that when work comes, you can fit into something, which is good and is bad. Why? Because you're not grounded in any particular style. But for the sake of work and for the sake of life, then you must pick each, something small from each style. Personally, growing up, I used to love hip hop. For me, even hip hop music, when I hear, I just feel it, yeah. But when I started my career, I realized that my passion for hip hop only was not going to put food on my table, unfortunately. So I had to open up myself for other styles. So I started watching. I remember that time I used to watch So You Think You Can Dance?
Yeah.
A lot, like that's I will say that was my biggest inspiration. And I will just watch these guys and go practice. Watch these guys, go practice. So when I got into Safari Park with the Safari Cats dance troupe, even them, I can't say that they have a particular style, because it is a cabaret show, and this is for a dinner performance. It's also a mixture of almost everything. And also the teachers there, they have not specialized in anything.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So they're also teaching what they found and what they know. So I had to pick other, I started picking other styles. I will do a bit of traditional dances here. I will do a bit of contemporary. I will look for people outside who used to do contemporary, and I will practice with them. I will perform for myself, just, do my hip hop, styles at home, and just continue adding my vocabulary in my, in my style. So basically it was just a mixture of, it's a mixture of everything.
Of everything, yeah. And you mentioned, last time we talked, you mentioned some styles that originated in Kenya. What was the name of those styles?
Very good. So you see, here in Kenya, we are different tribes, and we come, and the way the country is divided, we have the coastal side, which is the southern, and we have, like me, I come from a central part of the country. There are people who come from the east, and so on and so forth. So like the styles we used to do in Safari Park, I remember the traditional dance styles that we used to train, find that we do something like chakacha, which comes from the coastal part of this country. There's also what we do like from the eastern parts and the south, we call it South Nyanza here. We have the Luo community where we used to do Karachonyo and Orutu, yeah. I also learned them, yeah. It's interesting. Then we have the Kamba people who also come from the eastern part. They have Kelome, and then we have what my ethnic tribe does, which we also call the Mwomboko. So we have Mwomboko, we have Chakacha, we have Karachonyo, we have Orutu, we have Kilome, and many others actually. Some I have forgotten, but like those, we have Borana from the northern part. The ones that I'm mentioning, these ones are quite prominent, and they are
Yeah.
done a lot here. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow. That is so many, like, when I'm thinking about how it was growing up in Sweden, first of all, not a lot of exciting traditional dances. It's the same old, but they definitely, yeah, it's just something that we didn't really talk about. So I think that this is so interesting to hear, and you can like, oh, see a performance, and you would probably be able to tell like, oh, this is from the North
Yeah.
region,
Yes.
whereas would have no idea about this in Swedish culture. So that, yeah, it's really, really interesting to hear. And did you find that as a dancer, both in the safari cuts, but also in Artzone, when you picked out the dancers you wanted for Artzone, were you looking for similar dancers as the safari cuts, or did you want something completely new?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I joined, let me start here. When I joined the Safari Cats, mostly what they do, it's like they tell you, literally, they tell you, forget what you know and learn what you're being taught. So
Mm.
most of us, when we went in, we lost our uniqueness. We lost, what defined us. And so when I left there, one of the things that I decided is that I was not going to make anyone lose their individuality, their identity. So what I was looking for, it was people with different skills, with different personalities, and we use what you have. Like for example, if you can remember, like our performance in Balma, you have someone who does flips. If that's what if that's his strongest point, then you use that in the piece. You have someone who is more into Afro, then you use that in the piece, so that we don't lose, we don't lose our our originalities. And then now we find a balance where we can all now work together. It's like we try to find a balance, a level ground for everyone. So yeah, so you know I felt bad that one will lose their identity back in the days, but in the new place where we are now in Artzone, I really encourage people to maintain what they have, even as much as we continue learning new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your dancers, the ones that you do have now from the 10, I think you remember, because I mean, we met in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, about, yeah, 1.5 years ago, something like this.
Yeah.
And you told me that one of your dancers travels 2 hours, just one single trip to go to training.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, that time we didn't come with her. But yeah, she wakes up at 4 a.m. in the morning, prepares herself so that by 5 a.m. in the morning, she leaves the house to be at practice by 9 a.m. in the morning. And then when we leave, because sometimes we, depending with the season and the kind of work we have, so when we push it until maybe let's say like 2 p.m. in the day, or maybe 3 p.m., when she leaves there, because of the traffic and the distance, she gets home at around 8, 9 p.m. at night. And
Wow.
then she has to wake up again 4 a.m. in the morning. And actually, we have had a lot of people making a lot of sacrifices. Some will even walk. Personally, I have walked so many times. I would walk like 10 kilometers. And if 10 kilometers, it's quite a distance. It's quite a distance. So sometimes I encourage them with these things. I tell them, when I was starting, I would walk like 10 kilometers back and forth, you know? And it's because I really knew what I wanted, and I was passionate about, and I was focused because I knew where I was headed. So sometimes in life, it's quite unfortunate that some of these things happen, but I think they're also very good indicators for you to see who really who really desires, just to follow their hearts and their passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's, you know, I think it's such a good reminder, because there's a lot of dancers around the world that struggles. A lot of dancers struggles, not depending on what country you're in, but it's always
Yeah,
about, like, you know, getting work, being at rehearsal in time.
yeah.
Do you think that what would you have said, what would you say had been like the biggest struggles to run Artzone and being the artistic director for a whole crew?
Yeah. So like I said, here in Kenya, one of the fortunate things, and especially in the commercial industry, is that your clients don't really care. For them, what they look for is who can we pay less. You
Mm.
understand? So any group that comes up and they're charging less, whether they're doing a shoddy job, a substandard job, for most clients, they don't care, because you find there are a lot of, this country, we are at a place now where there is a lot of corruption in this country. And this has been the big real issue that is also affecting our industry. So you find there are agents who will take some very shoddy work and sell to their clients. So that's how we lose opportunities, because we have really worked hard, we have invested a lot in our work, because we have to pay space. I have to provide transport for my dancers, and so that competition, it has been a really challenge. Like, for example, I'll tell you this, where we are now, because of what has been happening with Corona, and people don't have work. I always find ways, even before, I always find other opportunities to try and support our dance career. Because if at this point, if I only depend on it, it's going to be problematic. Like currently, what I'm doing is that I go to the farms, I get fresh produce from the farms, I bring it into the city, like vegetables, tomatoes, and whatever's, sell it to people, make extra cash, so that I can pay for rehearsal spaces when we meet, and provide transport for these guys when we meet. So because if you don't do that, then it means you guys are going to be, all of you going to be broke. Sometimes you get your dancer calling you, telling them, they tell you, we have no rent, and the landlord is crazy. So, kindly, if you're in a position, send me something. So how do I send it? I'm also in the same industry. So I have to think extra, and just as a leader, you have to do extra work. So yeah, so that's how I have been surviving. Getting into farms, buying stuff, selling, making some extra cash, so that I can also be able to support the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and that's also another level, right? Like, how many hats do we juggle at the same time as artists?
Absolutely.
Because I think that we have all been where we have to have a side hustle in order
Yeah.
to do what we love, and and it's, as you say, as a leader, that is another game, because you also
Yeah.
have to maintain the optimism and the motivation that it will be better times. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what would you say, like, what kind of leader are you then? Like, are you focusing on the artistic part? Do you have to focus more on the business part? Are you more like a team player, or do the team manage themselves if you just provide the gigs, or how is the the structure?
Yeah. That's a good question. Uh, when we started, I was more into the artistic part, because I was really concerned with the technical ability of my dancers, and the kind of work that we wanted to create. But over time, I realized technically we have improved. The performances look good, and guys are telling you guys, "Wow, you guys, you're such amazing." But there was no work. You have a lot of shows. Technically, you're good. but there is no work. Then I had to sit down and reconsider. I realized now I have to train some of the guys to become trainers so that I can also find time to focus on the business, so that I can look for work. And I gladly and luckily I managed to do that, because whether I'm there or not, those guys can manage themselves. There are times where I even miss a whole week because I'm looking for work. So at this point, I will say, just combining the two, I would say I'm a team player. I'm a team player because I have allowed these people to reach a point where even without me, like God forbid, if I never woke up today, if I got out unfortunately and I was hit by a car, or I slept and I never woke up, it doesn't mean that Artzone has to stop there. It must continue. The livelihoods of these guys must continue. And time again, I have told them, stop depending on me too much for everything. I don't want to micromanage you guys. I want you guys to be able to manage yourselves. Maybe at this point, I would really want to give, just an oversight. And maybe like when we have big projects, then there I involve myself a lot. If we have a new client and it's a big job, I have to involve myself. But if it's just some of the clients that we have who always they hire some of the repertoires that we have, then I think for rehearsals and and choreography, I trust them that they can do that.
Yeah, so sometimes you delegate the jobs into the
Yes,
group then. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
And do you teach a lot? Do you teach a lot of children in the neighborhood or like that? How are you passing on the legacy of Artzone?
Yeah, like the photos I will share with you. You will see that yes, I like, mostly I love kids. I love children, and I love working with children. And speaking of which, by the way, yesterday I became a father.
Oh,
Yeah,
congratulations. That's why you were in
thank
the
you.
hospital.
Exactly.
Oh, oh my gosh.
So I
Is
have a
it,
one. I have a, yeah.
is it your first?
Yes, yes.
Congratulations, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
What
Yeah.
a life-changing. And talking about that, like how much of a life-changing moment that must be, because now it's not only you and your group.
Yes. Yes. But a family. Absolutely. So yeah, I love working with kids, and you will see in the photos, just kids warm my heart, and whenever I see them happy and doing their thing, I feel good. I feel good. Yeah. So that's how I will say I have been able also just to try and bring up the younger generation in a way that they can have like a different mindset, and just understand how it is important to commit to the process from an early age. Some of us, we never got that guidance from people. There were no people who took our hands and told us that this is the way to go. But I believe that we have the opportunity to do that for the younger generation. Yeah.
For sure, to be a guide, and like this is how you go into the industry, this is how you provide yourself with jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, but like, yeah, just now you becoming a father makes me think about a lot of other things to ask. So do you think that your child will be a dancer? Are you gonna train?
I would love for him to be a dancer. I would love for him to be a dancer. He can become he can become anything that he wants to be. But if he decides to dance, then I think he will have a good teacher, and just a mentor for just, yeah.
Yeah. How did
Yes.
your parents, what did they think about you becoming a dancer? It's not
Wow.
always easy, yeah?
Especially here in Kenya, a lot of parents, they think that that's time wasting. Um, we have two sets of people. We have two classes, yeah, in my understanding. we have the kind of families where they are stable and they are able to take their children through school, through through university and that kind of a thing, yeah. And then we have another family that they don't have the ability to take their kids to school, or they struggle a lot. So you find mostly for these families where they struggle a lot, whatever choice you make, they're good with it, because they don't want to tie you down and they can't provide for you. These are the family where the parents are capable and they're well able. They want to dictate each and every step. They will even choose for you what you should do. Like a parent will tell you, I want you to be a lawyer like myself, or like your uncle. I want you to be an engineer. I want for the status of the family, not even for yourself, but for the status of the parents and of the family. So you find that there is a lot of conflict, especially if you're an artist, because they don't understand what are you talking about. What is dancing? Like DJing here in Kenya, it also used to be like, it's crap. What are you saying? What are you DJing? You're bringing shame into the family. And so I have a lot of friends who went ahead and they did bachelors of degrees for their parents. And when they finished, they brought it to their parents and told them, I was doing it for you. Now let me start my life. And I find it to be a waste of time and money. Luckily for me, we were not very stable, neither were we unstable. My parents were able to take us to school. But I had very good parents. I would say they're liberals. Parents who will support what you wanted to do, wherever you wanted to go or whatever you wanted to become. For them, as long as it was safe, as long as it was I have we have a very strong background, my parents in Christianity, so, and it is the nation actually. So anything for them, it is like, if you're not doing it for the devil, then us, we are fine.
Yeah.
But I appreciate and I respect them so much, because they supported me so much. And so when I told them that this is what I want to do, some of my uncles, they were like, this guy is lost. These parents, they have accepted and they have played part in just losing their son. But now when they started seeing me traveling and I'm working with this and working with that, this time I'm there, that time I'm there, that is the time they were like, this thing was serious. And that's when they started seeing me in a new light. And some of them today, they would call me and ask me, hey, look for, your cousin doesn't have a job, get him a job. And I'm like, come on, I'm a dancer. They're not dancing, so what do I do? But I had very good, supportive parents. Though I lost my dad last year. Same time like now, actually.
Condolences. Yeah. I did also last year, my own too.
I saw it on I think on Facebook. Sorry, I understand the pain.
Yeah, now I understand everyone's pain, like once you go through it, you know what it is. Yeah. Yes. Good fathers, man. Good fathers supporting dancers. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But now you're a father of your own, so now you can continue what he started, so.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right. So I do have some finishing questions, and you can answer them as however you want. Yeah. And okay. I'm gonna start a sentence, and you just answer the sentence, whatever you want. Okay.
All right. Yes.
So, for example, just as a test, what is 3 things that people should say to themselves before they go to bed?
That I am beautiful, that I am strong, and that I am unique.
Yeah. That's great. And what would be one of your biggest lesson this year
My biggest lesson this year will be fatherhood is a beautiful thing. I think it's been a journey for the whole 9 months. So yeah, really, it has really changed my perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. If I'm blessed, I will be there one day with you talking about parenthood.
Make sure you do that.
um, if you could transport yourself to any place in the world at any given time, where would it be?
It will be Haiti. And why? Because I would really want to be where I see, like, the perception that I have, the videos that I have watched, I feel like there is so much to be done there. And I really want to be part of something that is growing, where I feel that I can impact change.
Where did you say it was?
Haiti.
Haiti. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They've been struggling a lot. A lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's nice. Um,
Yeah.
if you had to choose one thing that everyone in the world needed to try at least once, what would it be?
I think for me, traveling, going on a cruise.
Going on a
I have
cruise.
never, I have never done it, and I would really want to feel the vastness of the ocean. It's scary, but yeah, really, I would want to be out there just to feel it, and I would want that for anyone else.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could create a law that everyone in the world had to follow, which one would it be?
If I would create,
A law, like
okay,
yeah,
yes,
that
yeah,
everyone in the world had to follow. Which one would it
yes,
be?
respect each other, regardless of your race, regardless of your status. Just people to collapse and become one. Just understand that we are mere mortals. We are here today. We are not here tomorrow. Whether you're in State House, whether you're in White House, wherever, we all came in the same way, and we all live the same way. We were once born, and we must one day die.
Yeah.
So I think that should just sober up everyone, and just to help everyone see each other in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the one thing you have missed through the quarantine or the lockdown, whatever you guys have experienced? What is the one thing you missed the most?
I have missed socializing. I am a very social guy. I like spending time with people. You know, just having time of our lives, having those light moments. And I feel like this season has boxed us, where we have kind of stopped being humans. Humans, we are social beings. That's what they say. They say humans are social beings. And I kind of feel like this quarantine season has really created an obstacle. It has hindered us from doing that.
Mm, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. It's been putting some reflection time. And when you dance, what do you want to express?
Wow. My heart. I believe that when you're dancing, it is not just really about the external thing that people see, but it's really about the energy that comes from within. And just when you pour your heart out there, people will resonate. People feel you, as opposed when you just want just to show off nice moves. you know But when it comes from deep down, your heart, it's your personality. This is your unique. Like I said, you're unique. So it is your uniqueness that you're pouring. It's your heart. It's your personality. So I would really want people just to feel me, that this is me because I'm expressing myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there would be somebody out there that sitting thinking that I want to become a dancer, what would you say to that person?
I will tell them it's a good thing. It is not easy. It is a very rough road. But once you commit yourself wholeheartedly, one day you will arrive at that point. Yeah. But it is worth it. Yes, it is worth it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. In the end of every interview I'm doing, I'm always giving the microphone to my guest, and you can say, is there any place where we can look out for you, for your group, for your videos? If there anyone you want to shout out, is there any projects that you want to highlight? Whatever you want, the microphone is yours.
So thank you very much, Tiza, for having me on your platform. And it feels, I feel like we're in the same room today. I feel like we have met. So I would really have liked, just to be really, like, literally shake your hand, hug you, and but it is what it is, and we will soon meet, I believe. So we are Artzone Events and Entertainment, and we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and so on YouTube it's just my name, Paul Muiruri. Paul Muiruri. You can see it on Facebook on our Artzone Events and Entertainment page. Though I want now to really like put up an official YouTube channel for our work. Yeah, and just to say that it's been a good moment sharing with you, and just to tell the guys out there, it's been a rough time for the entire world. At least I'm encouraged because it's not just us or just a particular region, but it is the entire world. And if we can keep love, if we can think positively of each other, if we can put each other in our prayers and just in our good thoughts, I believe that we will all overcome this thing, and we will just face a new day with great energy and positivity. So let's continue loving, let's continue sharing, and let's carry each other in our hearts. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, and congratulations again to your fatherhood. And I hope the mother of the child is safe as well, and that you and your little family can start a beautiful time together. So thank you so much for this time. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate. For anything, you just call me. If you need anything, I'm here. You have my number. Let's continue talking. Yes.
Yeah, let's continue talking soon.
Yeah,
amazing. I will. Thank you.
Absolutely.